Hello folks, welcome to the channel and welcome to the Man Cave. So today's video is a first ride review on this machine here from KTM, new for 2024. It is their 990 Duke. Now I'm not new to the KTM brand. I did until recently have a KTM 890R Duke, so I am quite interested to see how much better the 990 is over the 890R, if indeed that's the case. So it's going to be a first ride review, so without further ado, let's roll the intro. So here it is, KTM's 990 Duke. It's a beautiful day, so let's jump on the bike and take it for a little bit of a ride, shall we? So first off then, on the side stand, there is no little peg coming out the side, but no problems there. So let's get the ergonomics out of the way, shall we? I'm 5'9", about 87 kilos at the moment, 32-inch inside leg, and I've been riding it for a few hours now, and the bike is really comfortable actually, no problems flat footing it at all, as you can see here in the video, and indeed moving it around as well. It's got a nice, the turning lock on it is not too bad actually, so moving it around in the garage is pretty much okay. Seat height is 825 millimeters, so that's just a little bit lower than my 890R that I had for a couple of years. Weight wise, it's 179 kilos dry, which is about 13 kilos heavier than my 890R. So that's the ergos out the way, and it is with those bars, yeah, it's a very comfortable machine. So there we go, we have a key, there's no electronic ignition, new 5-inch TFT screen, which is certainly better than my 890R screen, and you could do lots of stuff, configurations on here, set the favorites up on the bottom here. Very simple to do. That in itself will be another video, folks. But yeah, the screen is very nice. The only thing I will say is in the riding position, I've just found it's just, this is going to sound really weird, I just found it's a little bit low and a little bit close really. So if I want to look at some of the stuff there, I have found I've had to lower my head a little bit. But that's only one minor point I'd raise about that. Other than that, it's a very nice screen. So here we go then, KTM's 990, I think it's a 947cc Duke. Quick start, so neutral, just press the button and away we go. So I've got a microphone in my back pocket, so I am hoping that you'll get some nice sound from the exhaust. It's a standard stainless steel exhaust, and it certainly sounds better than I had the Akrapovic on the 890. I don't want this to be a comparison between the 890R and the 990 Duke, but I have ridden KTM Dukes before. So let's go for a little bit of a bimble, and I'll give you my first ride impressions of KTM's new for 24 990. It is a very comfortable bike to sit on. I've been in the garage with it, taking some video and all that kind of stuff with my German Shepherd dogs around, and yeah, it's a nice place to be. The front of the seat is just raised up about 2 degrees, so you're not, you know, your gentlemanly parts aren't being crushed by the tank there. The seat, I don't know if this is a standard seat, but in the time that I've been riding the bike, I found it to be a very comfortable position. Certainly from the leg positioning point of view, your heels aren't way behind you, so it's not a massively sporty position. It's pretty much, it's just forward of upright, I guess, but it is very comfortable. So I think you could do lots of mileage on this and no problems whatsoever. And it's quite nice to see that the steering lock, you can actually, there's quite a bit of lock on it for a naked bike. Now I don't know, is it a heavyweight, middleweight bike? The middleweight sector seems to all become a little bit blurred at the moment, doesn't it? So you've got the middleweights, and then you've got the 947cc. Is that a middleweight or is it heavyweight? I have absolutely no idea. Anyway, it is a middleweight super naked, or naked, whatever they call these bikes these days. The levers all fall to the hand very nicely. Yeah, it's comfortable, not too far forward. One thing I will say right from the get-go is I have trouble comparing or not comparing this between my old 890R, which I haven't got anymore, but click on the link down below if you want to go and have a look at those videos. And straight away, folks, this is better than my 890R in every way. But this, yeah, commuting, touring on it, kind of, I guess. Yeah, you'd certainly, it's a more relaxed riding position, so more relaxed equals more usable, I guess. But very nice. It's a nice place to be. And that seat certainly surprised me how comfortable it is for my not too well endowed or padded bottom, shall we say. Cost wise then, in the UK with VAT and on the road PDI'd and all that kind of stuff, it's going to set you back £12,990. It comes in two flavours. This is the grey one, and then you have a orange one. They call it electric orange or something. So that's your two choices. I'm not sure which one I prefer. And it comes with a host of accessories as well. So I suspect you can get some kind of screen for the front, maybe. I don't know. If there is, I'll put one up there. And you can get a different exhaust if you want, different slip-ons. I think they do two Akrapovic and another one. I've seen some YouTube videos of the other one. I can't remember what it is called. But yeah, it sounds really nice. Don't give you any horsepower on the slip-ons, but they do sound and look a little bit better than the standard can that's on here at the moment, which is all right but not brilliant. But it does meet, well, the whole bike, the engine, etc., does meet Euro 5 plus regulations. But if you're going to put another end can on, that's another, well, I don't know, however much the price is on the screen there. This is the entry 990. I've got no idea if there's going to be a 990R, but I think that'd be quite an interesting machine to ride. And the 990 base model that I'm on now, man, it feels more powerful than my 890R. Of that, there's no doubt. So the engine on this is putting out, I think it's 123 horsepower and 103 newton meters of torque or thereabouts. So a few horses up on my 890R and a few newtons up on the 890R as well. But it is a very quick machine, and it just wants to go, So I would say hands down better than the 890R, end of. But it just seems to fit me a bit better, whereas the 890, it was a small bike, but this just seems to be a bit bigger and it fits me really well. Like it a lot. So size wise, yeah, I think KTM have pitched it quite right actually. It feels a nice bike to wear actually, and you sat on it. Yeah, it's a good seating position, and the way it turns is nice as well. So I have been riding it for a few hours, and it just feels right when you get on it. It does feel good. Steers very well. It's nice. What do they call this one? They call this one the Sniper, don't they? We've had the Scalpel, and now we have the Sniper. Is that because you can take stuff out from miles away or something? I've got no idea. But it does handle very well. It does handle very well. And again, it's a great day today. First through to second's a bit clunky on the old quick shifter. I always use a combination of quick shifter and the clutch actually, and blip it. Always ride in the distance you can see to be clear, so you can stop. Thank you very much. It steers really well without being too twitchy, and this is the 990 base model, if indeed they're going to do an R version. Tyres wise, we've got Bridgestone's S22 tyres. Very nice tyre. It's a good tyre. Suspension wise, front we've got the WP Apex suspension. You can't adjust it for the preload, but you've got very simple click adjusters on the top. I think I had those on the 890. Basically you've got 5 clicks, and you've got compression on the left and rebound on the right, and you can adjust them, very quick to adjust. So each click is like a 20% adjustment, so you can play with those very easily and not get confused with the black arch suspension. On the rear then you've got WP suspension, and you can adjust with a C spanner or whatever you call it the preload, and you can do the rebound, but there's no compression adjustment. I think you've got 5 clicks on the back as well. So folks, the suspension is really easy to adjust. The road surface here is a little bit uneven and scarred, but on the standard suspension, very compliant, very nice. Good job, KTM, very nice. Indicators are self-cancelling as well. More of that in the electronics review. It really is good. Oh, just sound, man, it sounds so good. It does sound so good. Very easy to get into trouble on this. Very easy. Brakes then, well the bike itself is about 96% new. It's not an 890 that has been upgraded. This is a new machine, a new platform. That's why they've got rid of the 890R and the 890. That's not continued in the UK. So this is a totally new machine, new frame which is 15% stiffer, and a new swing arm. So we haven't got the open lattice construction swing arm. It's all now enclosed. New rear subframe, that's aluminium. It is a brand new machine. A few things have been carried over from the, I'm going to say the 890, and I think that the only thing that's been carried over are the brakes. So there's no Brembo Stylema brakes on this bike, and I've got to say I don't think it needs it actually. These brakes are damn good. You've got the standard KTM silver 4-piston radial brakes on the front. You've got a single piston KTM brake on the back as well, and the feel from the levers, very nice. In fact, the actual master cylinder here, the actuator, whatever you want to call it, it does look very Brembo-esque, but it's not, I don't believe. And the brake lever is span adjustable, as is the clutch lever as well. So KTM are looking after you, folks. Suspension wise, very nice. Brakes wise, very nice as well. And yeah, it's just a good place to be actually. The lights then, so it sort of trickled down from the 1390, the Predator, dare I say it, kind of headlight. So totally new from the 890, 790 lights, which had that element down the front which may have obstructed or some of the light at night time. So this is a new design, and I would say this is one of my negative points about this. Although it's rubber mounted, the actual plastic that they've used and the finish on it, one, it just seems a little bit too sharp around the edges, and two, it's the only bit of the bike that I think looks cheap. Could have used a better plastic or something, but maybe I'm just being a little bit picky. But it certainly is quite sharp, so be careful when you're washing the bike not to cut yourself. That's about the only thing, the only criticism that I really have of the bike. You've got DRLs around the outside which you can actually turn off, and once you turn them off and you turn the ignition off, when you turn the ignition back on again, they're still off. Whereas some bikes, the DRLs will come back by default, but these aren't. The low beam doesn't come on until the engine started, which is, I think, is standard really to save battery life. And the low beam is the top round light in the centre, and the high beam is the bottom one, I believe. Indicators are all LED, work very well, and you've got the rear light cluster, a little bit like my BMW 1250 GS, where they've got the integrated LED indicators, brake light stuff. Not a big fan of that. Don't like that at all actually from a safety point of view. From an electrical point of view, on the left hand side here you've got a USB-C power supply with a weather seal rubber cap kind of thing. The switchgear on the left hand side, I'm not sure why they just haven't pulled the switchgear from the 1390, which I guess, folks, you know, this is emulating, is it? This is a baby 1390, but I haven't ridden the 1390. But the switchgear is okay. The centre section here, which is backlit actually, this is all backlit. The centre section just feels, yeah, a little bit cheap. Sorry KTM, but maybe it's an improvement over the previous switchgear. But I don't know why they just didn't drop the other switchgear down from the 1390. And on the right hand side, all you've got is the start button, which is a quick start. Just press it and it will do its stuff. It has got cruise control as well. You just switch it on here on the left, and then you can activate the cruise control and then speed up, slow down, and all that kind of stuff. It's got hazard buttons, and then you've got a customizable button just down here on the left hand side some bikes, like the BMW, you have a mode button, so you're riding along and you go, oh, okay, I don't want to leave it in, what am I, I'm in sport mode at the moment, I want to just put it into another mode. This one, you've actually got to go into the menu setting, so you've got to almost take your eyes off the road. You've got to go into the menu setting, enter that, go into the ride mode, and then adjust it up and down. So it's a bit of a faff, so you know, you're taking your eyes off the road. So I do wish that there would have been a mode button, but what you can do is go into the menu and then allocate a function to that custom button. So in my case, I've just gone in there and I've allocated the mode, so when you press the button, it then goes straight to the mode, and then you're in. Very quickly you're in, so that's how you can do that. But other than that, switching is good, and it is backlit as well. Screen, we've got a 5-inch TFT anti-scratch glass screen kind of thing. It's very nice. The only thing, like I said before, I just think it's just a little bit close to you, but maybe you get used to that, as I'm already getting used to it. I'm already getting used to it now, so maybe we can scrap that comment. Lots of menus in there, so I suppose that's a good time to talk about the electronics of the bike. So electronic wise, for your £12,990, you just get the basic 3 riding modes: sport, street and rain, something like that. And then you've got a couple of other modes which you can get on top of that when you start sort of shelling out some money to buy the extra packs to unlock the features of the bike. I think there is track and performance. We're going to talk about it very shortly on the ride. What a great day for riding the bike. I'm sorry it's not very exciting, folks, but lots of stuff in here. Your £12,990 gives you the basic functions. You've got the traction control, whatever else is in there. The video would be too long if we went through it all. But if you want to shell out another 800 and something pounds and get the tech pack, I think it is, then that will unlock absolutely everything, including the cruise control and the quick shifter as well. So everything is, when you buy it, is on the bike, but as we all know, KTM want you to pay to unlock all the features. So I think it just grates me. It grated me when I had my 890 R, and it should be, that's the money you pay for it. Go and fill your boots and have a good time. So at the moment there, everything is in demo mode, so you get to about 930 miles. That's the amount of mileage you can use. So you get to 931 miles and you've been having a great time. You turn the bike off, turn the ignition back on again, and because you've gone over the demo mileage, you aren't able to use all those lovely features, cruise control, quick shifter, that the bike has already got on it. So you've got to go and shell out some more money, 800 odd pounds, to then unlock those features, which is damned annoying. But having spoken to my dealer Owen this morning, he says that at the moment, certainly in the UK, they're actually giving KTM UK are giving you that free, so which is nice to see actually, because it does grate a lot of people and it brings a lot of comments onto the forums as well. So your price in the UK at the moment, 12,990. Is it 12? Yeah, oh, 12,990. 990. Is that to do with the KTM 990? Just thought that. So you get all the electronic wizardry, and there is shed loads of stuff. So with all that electronic wizardry, you're going to get 2 more riding modes, which are the performance mode and the track mode. And basically the track mode gives you a nice orange screen, less information, and is more track focused to give you the data that you need as well. And if the track mode and the performance mode, basically when you go into those modes, you can then select the wheelie control, so you can go have a high wheelie, medium wheelie, low wheelie, or actually turn it off. So it's only those modes that you can actually play around with how high you want your wheelie to be. And there's other things in there, slip and slide and I don't know, whatever they call it. At the moment, good job KTM, listening to folk, and you're giving them the stuff, opening up all the electronics for free. I like that, that's really good. And then you've got a favourites list along the bottom. So at the moment I've got battery, odometer, trip and the date. and you can go into the favourites. So each of these is 1 favourite, 2 favourite, 3 favourite, 4 favourites, and you can customise those to your heart's content, really. Fuel tank, oh, I forgot what the fuel tank is. I think it's 14.8 litres. If I'm wrong, I'll amend it. And it's about 60 miles to the gallon, and that would give you about a range until it's empty of 196 miles or thereabouts. There is actually a steering damper on there as well, I didn't mention that. And the mirrors, nice to see, you know, aerodynamically designed mirrors, all pretty good actually, we like that. And a nice view behind you actually, all good. I've already mentioned the seat, it's a very comfortable seat, I've got no issues with that at all. I think you could do some decent mileage on that. And the pillion seat then, I've actually sat on that, as you can see here, and it seems to be alright, decent. I think they had an issue with when they were designing it, they actually wanted the pegs to be a little bit lower for the pillion, so that their legs weren't, you know, acute. Pillion seat's alright actually, it's a little pad, but sat on it, seems to be fine. No grab rails. There is a black wire under the seat that you have to hang on like a set of horse reins basically. Yeah, what else is under the seat? You've got a couple of power connectors, 2 ACCs, auxiliary something connectors, 1 and 2, so you can plug, you've got power points there for some extra stuff under the seat. And in the headlight unit you've got 2 ACC 1s and 2s, so you can get some more power in there. I guess you could power up a GPS unit or something as well. So there are 2 power units in the front. Crackle, crackle from the exhaust. Crackle, crackle. Yeah, man, it does. Yeah, so quite heavy braking there, and a little bit of a dive, but to be expected really. Stainless steel exhaust, and they've gone to great lengths to design the catalytic converter, so it's all hidden under the engine, all Euro 5 plus compliant with the 3 lambda sensors I think, so all hidden under the engine. So yeah, they've tried to make it look as good as possible, and I think that's pretty much everything on the bike. So that really just leaves us to talk about the engine. Yeah, that LC8C engine. So it looks like the 890 and the 790, but it is a totally new engine, folks. So hopefully they've learnt any lessons to be learnt from the 790, 890. 123 horsepower, 103 newton meters of torque. So I'm in sport mode at the moment, and it absolutely pulls like a train, and a little bit of vibration, but it pulls really well. It's got enough to make you laugh, folks, and do you need anything more? Presumably not. So the engine then, that LC8C engine, compact engine, parallel twin, got plenty of go, and you'd just be very lazy with it. You know, let's just see then, 3rd gear, there's nothing behind me, 3rd gear, I'm in sport mode, and it pulls nicely. I will say the engine is quieter than my 890R, and the quick shifter as well. Not perfect, but it's heaps better than my old quick shifter, which actually would get quite jerky, and I haven't had that on this yet, and I've given it the beans. 1st gear, going really slow, again nothing behind me. It does hunt a little bit, you just feel it, but where it's sort of, you just feel it jerking a little bit. But how often you're going to ride on that, who knows. But yeah, just a very low down, sort of under 2,000 revs. Yeah, a little bit of hunting. But that engine, yeah, woohoo, mucho funno. Yeah, the sniper, it just handles right. I think that's all the technical bump, but it does handle really well. Exhaust pops, verbals. But it's not going to rip your arms off, it's not going to scare you senseless, but it's got a lot of go in it, a lot of go, and you can be, you know, lazy with the gearbox. Woo! it goes well. It does go well. And you've also got a fuel remaining mileage till you're going to have to push it, which is quite nice as well. I think what we'll do now is just find some twisties and have a bit of fun in the twisties, but I'll just put it in rain mode. Yeah, noticeable difference there in rain mode. So currently in rain mode, and let's enter that. So go into performance mode. Let's do track mode. Let's put it into track mode. There we go, track mode, and it'll tell me to, if I enter that, it will tell me to close the throttle. Close the throttle, okay, to engage it. There we go. So this is now track mode, just to show you the screen. So the modes do make a difference, folks. They change all the electronics that KTM have, all the safety nets that KTM have designed for you, so you don't flip it. So there we go. So that is the track mode. So what have we got here? You've got the slip button that you can use down here. If you want to adjust how much slip, you give it 1 to 9, I think the levels are. ABS on the road, but you can adjust the throttle. Wheelie, it's on low at the moment, and launch control is off. And what else is there? So it just gives you a different screen actually. And we'll go and find some twisties. You have to trust the electronics. Wowza. Yes. I've just got the wheelie control on low, so I'm not very brave. And when you are gunning it, yeah, you just feel the front coming up and just shaking the bars a little bit. Very entertaining. Very entertaining. But yeah, it does handle really well. Lots of fun. Yeah. Oh well, slow moving traffic, there we go. I guess the good thing is about the click system for the suspension is if you're going to go and ride aggressively, they can just dial it up a little bit quite easily from the front, can't you? I quite like that. Yeah, it's not very complicated to do that. But the actual standard suspension is good. Yeah, certainly from a road riding point of view, it's all right. It's good. It's comfortable. You don't have any fillings getting knocked out. So it'll make you want to do a bit more mileage as well. I think one thing you have to do when you're riding bikes like this with all the electronic safety nets put on them is actually sort of, I guess, trust the electronics. I'm not into wheeling anyway, so on an old GSXR that I had, I think I destroyed the gearbox on that because I used to wheelie all over the place, but not where I live, I hasten to add, when I was away in France. But yeah, you just got to respect the electronics and let them take the strain. But slow speed handling from this, yeah, is good. There we go, nothing's coming. Put a dab on the brake. Yeah, it's good. It's nice control. It's good. It just handles really well. Right, I think what we'll do is let's just sort of cover a few extra things then. So quality of construction of the bike. It has grown up from the 890 and the 790. It is pretty much up there with the 1390, the big daddy of these super naked bikes. Everything's lacquered, so the finish is very good. The only thing, as I said, I don't like is the quality of the plastic on the headlight there. But other than that, fittings and furnishings, fittings and whatever you want to call it, very good, nice, kind of premium kind of stuff. In relation to its competition then, so this bike at the moment is going to be what, £12,900. So I think you've got Triumph 765 RS. There's about £12,000 for that one, and then you've got, even cheaper is at £10,100, you've got Yamaha's MT09. That's not the SP model, just the basic model. So I guess it depends what you want. Do you want 2 cylinders, 3 cylinders? In relation to warranties, etc. So at the moment, KTM, it's a standard 2 years, and then as long as you've had it serviced with a KTM dealer, I believe, then your warranty is, when you get it serviced, it then kicks in for another year, and then you can do that until the end of year 4. So it's a 4-year warranty in effect, just to put people's mind at ease, I suppose. Now in relation to that's the, what do they call that, SAW? I can't remember what that stands for. Servicing, something, warranty, I don't know. I'll put it up here anyway. And the other thing is the, they call it the mobility insurance. So your breakdown cover basically. So first 2 years it's covered, and then I think you can get an extra 5 years of breakdown cover. But again, there's certain things that you've got to make sure you get it serviced at the dealer and that kind of stuff. But whether that be for the warranty or the breakdown cover, just go and speak to one of your KTM dealers. Service intervals, I think it's 9,300 miles or every year, whichever it is the sooner, or something like that. I think you can also connect a headset unit to here, but you need to get the bolt-on Bluetooth connectivity thing. I'll put the price up here, but that's not included in the tech pack or whatever they call it. But you can get that if that's your thing. If you want to connect your headset to the unit and have turn-by-turn phone calls, etc. But that is an option, but again, you have to pay for it. If I didn't say it before, actually, the name Duke comes from a British racer in the 50s who's now passed away, called Jeff Duke. When KTM were looking at naming the Duke back about 30 years ago, they were like, oh, what kind of name should we have for it? And this Jeff Duke bloke was racing, doing very well. So back in the 94, was it the 620 Duke came out, or 650, whichever one it was. They decided to take his surname and apply it to the Duke range thereafter. So that's where the Duke name originated from. So folks, I'm just going to sum up then my final thoughts then on the KTM 990 Duke for 2024. Very capable machine. It is a mini 1390 Duke. It's certainly gone above the 890R in all the aspects. It's grown up a little bit, and it sort of fits me much better than the 890. Certainly a more comfortable place to be. The engine, very impressive, lots of low down grunt, and yeah, at times you've got to hang on if you're giving it the beans. Nice full electronics package as well. Yeah, it's a good machine. Go to your local KTM dealer and go and take one out for a test ride. In relation to the overall looks of the machine, I guess it's going to be a little bit Marmite, isn't it? You either love it or loathe it, or something like that, really. Yeah, I'm not sure where I stand at the moment. It looks better in the flesh. It certainly looks better in the flesh, but it goes really well. It does go really well. And as it stands at the moment, you've got everything on it. It handles well, goes well, stops well. It's a comfortable ride with the suspension, easy to adjust the suspension as well, and it's a comfortable place to be. I think you could do some decent old mileage on this, not a problem there. Yeah, I think you'll be alright. And the nice thing with the suspension is even up this scarred road surface, yeah, your fillings aren't coming out. And it's a bigger bike than the 790, 890, so it'll fit more people. And yeah, I can get both feet down as we mentioned before. Yeah, it's nice. And at the tank here, just narrows in a bit so you can squeeze the tank with the inside of your thighs, and then it sort of flares out, the seat flares out behind you. The airbox, you're sat on the airbox, and you've got the side vent sort of just down here to suck the air in to the machine itself. Through the side vents there. Finish is good, I think we already said that. Nicely lacquered. Yeah, it's good. And the quick shifter works well, and that engine is an absolute peach of an engine. 123 horsepower with 103 newton meters of torque. So you can just be very lazy with the engine. The gearbox, leave it in a high gear and just allow the torque to just pull you around, really. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it handles really well. Really well. But that engine is an absolute peach. I certainly wouldn't want to be in the market looking for a middleweight, whether that be a middleweight or a heavy middleweight. I think KTM have just made things a lot more difficult if you are in the market for a new machine with their KTM 990 Duke, I'd suggest you go down to your local dealer. In my case it's Bikers where I live. Go and say hello and take one out for a ride, and then you can make your decision. But there's, yeah, KTM have just made things a little bit more difficult, shall we say. Thanks very much, Owen, for allowing me to take the bike out. Ride safe, and we will see you again soon in the not too distant future. Take care and ride safe and all that kind of stuff. Cheerio for now. Bye. Find somewhere to park now. There we go, KTM 990 Duke.